What is up, everybody? It is your boy Farai. Thank you once again for tuning in to another video, man. It's been a while, but I am back. We're going to be looking at some cool plugins that I've been using while I've been gone. I thought I'd enlighten you guys, get you up to date with what I have been testing out, trying out. So with that being said, let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, definitely make sure to hit that sub button, smash like. For everyone out there, check out the new vocal recording and mixing courses. Definitely gonna get you up to speed if you're looking to learn how to mix and record like me, like a professional in FL Studio. So let's get into it, man. All right, so first things first, I'm still using the bulk of the same plugins as always, but I really wanted to show you my top 5 kind of up-to-date plugins. So yeah, let's get into it. So first thing would be obviously listening to the track. I know a lot of people want me to do a mix breakdown on this, so you know what I mean, 150 likes below, and I will do a mix breakdown on this track that I made. But we'll take a listen to the track, then we'll look at the plugins. Let's get into it.
Let's get it. You can't sleep, baby, tell me that you love me. I can't let you down, you can trust me. Head in the clouds, stars right above me. Fell way too deep, but we got lucky. All my life I think thoughts I can't deny. Just hold me right now when it's nighttime. I'm a rock star, counting all these bands now. You a star, baby, all you do is stand out. Put in work, baby, you know I'm the man now. She calling on my phone every time I'm not around. Rack, I got racks. Do my two-step.
Alrighty, there you go. So you get an idea of what the track sounds like. Very much well balanced and it's sounding good. So we'll look at some of the plugins that I made use of. So first thing would be a de-esser. Alright, I wanted to show you this de-esser. I don't know how to pronounce this, so I won't bother to butcher it. But it is by Slate Digital, and yes, I've been generally using the Waves de-esser, which is nice, but I am preferring this one at the moment. It sounds really nice. So, I guess I'll be bouncing in between the two. I do really know the sound of the Waves de-esser, but again, this, if you can afford to pay the subscription fee for Slate Digital, is definitely worth checking out. It's a very smooth de-esser, very simple to use. It does have a few extra kind of quirks and functions. You can wet dry, you can add this auto function, which I've used, which I don't know what it does, but it just seems to work. If you want to see the de-esser in action, it's kind of just find a section of the track where we had a bit of S's going on, somewhere around here, I think.
When it's nighttime, I'm a rock star, counting all these bands now. You a star, baby, all you do is stand out. Put in work, baby, you know I'm the man now. She calling on my phone every time I'm not around. Rack.
So you can see how this de-esser has kind of been set in a way to where it's so sensitive that it's only really kicking in on parts that need to be dealt with. I think that's the hardest thing to do with the de-esser. The Waves de-esser obviously allows you to do that, but with this one you can visually see kind of more in depth what's going on, and you can hear it really has this high fidelity sound when it actually does the de-essing. For those who don't know what de-essing is, it is basically a de-esser is essentially a compressor that has been set up to only compress a certain region of the or to only kick in when a certain region of a frequency exceeds a given threshold. Basically, if S's sound too S'y, they get cut. Alright, the whole vocal gets cut. You can have it so that you only cut a certain region of the vocal. I'm using it in a wideband mode, which basically means that you are pretty much just kind of ducking the overall volume of the whole vocal. And the reason for that is because I have done my compression beforehand. I didn't really like to de-ess after compression. That is completely subjective and for another video. But again, this will be my first kind of new favorite plugin that I've been using. So really cool, added it to the arsenal and am loving it. Cool, so next one was actually a free plugin which I got a few weeks back. And it is a, it's called the Gem mod, and it is from Overloud. This is a toned down version of their paid plugin. This was actually a free, I think they were giving away 10,000 units or something. So hopefully there are still units available for you to go and get. But this is essentially a recreation of the famous Roland Dimension D. So for those who don't know what the Dimension D was, it is essentially, or is it still around, but it's not made anymore. It's essentially a chorus flanger type device, a really cool 80s sounding device. It's essentially like the H3000, but it has its own flavor, and I'm just using it in the background of the main vocal just to kind of add a little bit of space and width, a little bit of gooiness. I'm a big fan of the H3000. We got one at the back. Check out the F3000 as well, which is a free recreation that we've made for FL Studio. And yeah, it sounds good. If I just kind of boost it, you can kind of hear what's going on. We'll kind of mess around with it just a little bit. But yeah, it sounds really nice.
When it's nighttime, I'm a rock star, cutting all these bands now. You a star, baby, all you do is stand out. Put in work, baby, you know I'm the man now. She calling on my phone every time I'm not around. Rack.
So as you can see right there, it's just a standard chorus. You can get away with using a standard, flanger chorus, whatever. But this has a few extra functions in it that make me want to use it more. We do have the drive function, which I've turned off in this mix. Obviously, you can adjust that as you'd like. I really just wanted a clean chorus, so I decided to turn it off. But it has saturation. It does have stereo width, so that's kind of cool. I did find that I'd widened the track enough. So I didn't need to do that, but you can do that. You can do a wet dry, so if you do want to add it onto the main vocal itself, you're free to do that. And yeah, it's got all these different chorus and kind of modulation functions, and sweet and simple. Has a whole bunch of different presets and sounds good. So if it is still, this was a toned down version again, you can go and check out the full version. I think it's like $100, but this was free, so I was lucky to get it. Hopefully you can still get it free. I apologize for showing you this so late, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So another plugin. And man, all these years I've been showing people the Air bundle. This is essentially from the Air Creative Suite. Once in a while you will find this whole bundle, all of these plugins for sale for $20. I have been telling people for years to get this bundle. This was essentially part of the Pro Tools package, so if you are a Pro Tools user, you will know about the Air bundle or the Air plugins. But essentially, man, it seems that Air had a kind of licensing disagreement or something, and have now got their plugins on their own website. So these specific ones are not available on Pro Tools. A few are still available, but these ones are for purchase, and damn do they sound good. A lot of the professionals are still using these plugins. I personally think they sound really good, and they are truly underrated. So definitely check them out. I'm using it in this mix. I think I might be using it a bit more somewhere else. Nah, not in this mix. Okay, yeah, there you go. So you can see how I'll use it on background vocals, but in this case, the main focus would be just to kind of widen up every background vocal, right? So pretty simple. You've got this process section, which essentially allows you to either widen up the low band, the mid band, or the high band. And I really like kind of emphasizing this on the mid band, because what it does is it kind of adds this nice little kind of flangy sound to the main vocal, as long as you don't go overboard with it. As you can see, I am using the delay function, so I'm delaying it and then I'm really widening it, and I think it's got a really unique widening sound. So if you are somebody who uses, for example, the Waves S1 Imager, this is a nice alternative. Sometimes the image is a bit too sterile. It's more of a mastering thing. If you want more of a mixing tool, then the stereo width is definitely a fun plugin to use. If I just kind of let's actually just bypass everything else besides the main vocals real quick.
All my life I think thoughts I can't deny. Just hold me right now when it's nighttime.
So you kind of see how I've got this kind of what we'd call a sido width effect going on. I don't want to manipulate it because it doesn't really have an undo function. But yeah, I'm kind of getting this out of phase, wacky sound. If I was just to monitor mix in.
All my life I think thoughts I can't deny.
We get this really nice Daft Punky sound, and it took me a really long time to actually find something that would be able to kind of wrap around mono elements to kind of really widen up and emphasize, the parts that I wanted emphasized. So
all my life I think thoughts I can't deny.
So you can really hear it kind of wraps around that main vocal, and it really separates itself. And then with that delay function, being able to actually delay everything from the main vocal just adds that extra layer of kind of coolness. So there you go. That's pretty much what we have, stereo effect. Now, for those who know about my mix bus technique, or my vocal bus technique, basically where I process all of the vocals, I always have or most of the time, I will have a sort of bus compressor on there. This is kind of mimicking what a lot of British engineers would do back in the days of Massive. They are still around, but Massive SSL consoles that actually had quad buses or multiple mix buses, where you could actually send various different groups, which are buses essentially, or different categories of sound. So for example, all of your drums, all of your vocals, you could send those to a bus compressor and actually just tone those in, so that's pretty much what I like to do with my vocals, all of my vocals, and generally in this spot I would have an SSL bus compressor, but since I've been trying out the Slate stuff, I added on this FG401, and it's already old plugin. This was part of their first bundle of VMR plugins, but I really like it. It really sounds good. I don't know if they've updated the algorithm, but it sounds really sweet. I don't know what this is mimicking, but it has this transformer function, which I seem to like, and it just glues the vocals so nicely. So if we just take a listen to this, we can hear
all my life I think thoughts I can't deny. Just hold me right now when it's nighttime. I'm a rock star, kinda know these bands now. You a star, baby.
So you can see how it really kind of mimics analog in the way that it responds to transients. You know, basically it's kind of got a human element to it. It's kind of doing this manual thing where it's just gluing the vocal together, and it sounds really good. So this is something that I've been using, and it sounds nice, man. It's got 2 circuits. You can wet and dry, do what you want. But I like things in just a 2-to-1 ratio or 4-to-1 ratio, a little bit of a tuck, and this really just helps keep the vocals kind of in check in regards to the rest of the mix. You don't want your vocal popping out too much, but you also don't want it too compressed. So this does the job for that. So really cool. Last but not least, man, just a little bit of a bonus plugin. Actually, you know, I might as well show you in this instance. I've got this Ozone Imager. You know, people that have been following the channel for a long time know I haven't really been using too many isotope plugins. In the more commercial work we use the RX bundle, but I've had the Imager for a while, which I really like. And this is a plugin I've actually been using for years to kind of do utility things, not so much stylistic, but in this case I decided to go kind of stylish in mastering. But the utility aspect of what I'm doing in this mix is I'm actually just kind of monoing in everything below, what would it be, 60 hertz in this mix, because the beat actually had kind of stereo width on the bass end, right? There was a kind of stereo bass thing going on, and for me personally, I didn't like that. I didn't want that much kind of stereo width going on in the low end. You probably won't be able to hear this, but again, I'm just going to solo this in. So hopefully on your headphones you can hear this. Smaller speakers probably won't be able to play that low. You may hear this a little bit, but if I actually just turn this back to 100, you can see how my mix bus as well is also kind of skewed in that range. So just kind of toning that back in just acts as a utility function, just kind of fixing that low end. And what I decided to do in this mix was I kind of felt like something wasn't popping out the way or the kind of treble of this mix wasn't popping out the way I wanted to at the end of the mix. And I thought, like, what do I already have on the mix chain that I could use? And I pulled this up. You know, I only had this setting going, and then I decided to actually just do a crazy width boost. I've seen guys do this, and I just decided to try it for myself, and it sounded really good. You know, 55 boost, which is insane, but again, I had mixed the track to where I was happy, and it doesn't really hurt the track. So if we kind of just A/B, you can kind of hear the differences.
All my life I think thoughts I can't deny. Just hold me right now when it's nighttime.
It kind of just adds a little bit more of a kind of cuddy width. I would say it sounds more trebly. I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of popping out those trebles. If we just kind of solo things. In my opinion, it's doing something similar to like a Aural Exciter, I think they were called. Really cool. You know, the Waves. Waves have a Aural Exciter type plugin, and it's doing something like that, but it's also doing a little bit of stereo width. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty much all of the kind of underrated plugins that I'm going to be using moving onwards. I really like them. I like what they do to my mixes. I like how much flavor the compressors have. I like how much flavor the de-esser has. But again, every plugin is interchangeable, and every plugin is just a tool that we can utilize when mixing different flavors for different songs. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. As always, definitely also comment below if you've made it to the end. I am starting to do consultations. I just need to punch in what types of things that you as a person wanting to speak to me would like to talk about, whether it's theory, sound-based theory, whether it's music industry stuff, business stuff, right? If you want to be an engineer and a business person within the industry, how to get started, etc., comment below. Excuse me, and yeah, we'll check it out. So hopefully you had a good time. I'll check you out next time. Peace out.